Vertical urban farming, greenhouses, companization. Do you know what I'm talking about? If not, then this is the time for you to get to know one of the most innovating companies from Sweden. It's Plantagon. No, not Pentagon. And let's find out why they do what they do and how they make a great difference in this world. I'm Julie Tran and you're watching MakeChangeTV. And in a minute, I'm going to walk into this studio and have a talk with the business development manager from Plantagon. So just follow me. So I'm sitting here with Gustav Gorecki. Am I pronouncing it right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Who is the business manager from Plantagon. And today is also very special because we do have an audience here and we're sitting in this beautiful cinema-like environment. So Gustav, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So please introduce me shortly about Plantagon.
The organizational model of Plantagon, which is a social model making companies more responsible for the environment. So when the founder of Plantagon, Hans Hassle, were supposed to establish the firm, he thought that it really didn't fit in the ordinary models existing in Sweden. In Sweden we have aktiebolag, which is kind of a limited company, corporation, and it didn't fit in the non-profit side either. Because in the corporation organizations, they often lack some responsibility for the society. It's sometimes too commercial. And the non-profit organization often lacks some commercial thinking. So what he did, together with some people at the Stockholm School of Economics, was to develop a new model, a hybrid model. Because if you don't have any existing model, you need kind of develop a new one. So we took the aktiebolagsmodell, the limited company model, and the non-profit model, and combined it into one model. So perhaps I can explain it on the board here. So the model is called companization. So it's one organization consisting of two parts. So you have the corporate part here and the non-profit part here. The corporations in the industry today are starting to realize that they have to take the CSR responsibility, the social responsibility, but they aren't really obliged to really perform responsibility. So what we did was to implement ethical frameworks in the articles of association in the corporate side and in the bylaws of the non-profit side. And ethical frameworks in our case are Global Compact from UN and Earth Charter. So we implemented that here and here. And by doing that, the board is really obliged to follow what is being said in the ethical frameworks. So that makes the corporate side more socially responsible, and the non-profit side more commercial driven.
How does CSR 3.0, relate to this model? Well, this is
the difference from the CSR today, the 2.0, is that we really make the organization responsible to follow what is being said in the ethical frameworks. And today you have kind of environmental policies and so on, Word documents lying in the drawer, but you are not in the board really, you don't really have to follow what is being said there. So by implementing in the articles of association and in the bylaws, you really have to follow it.
Yeah.
And further on, you give away 10% of the stocks to the non-profit side, and the non-profit side can assign 50% of the board in the corporation. And the final part is a closure right. So if you have been a member in a non-profit organization for 10 years, you get a closure right. And the closure right gives the holder of the document the right to receive part of the profit the day the corporate side is sold, but only in the 7th generation. So if I have a closure right, I can't kind of change it for money. You have to wait to give it to your son and your son's son and so on. So you have to give documents in 7 generations. And the reasons for doing this is that we would like to promote long-term thinking in the business environment, because it's too short-term thinking today.
Yeah.
So I have to excuse my drawing competence.
Well, I think it looks nice, especially with the heart. So as long as the heart is there. In Plantagon, what is your role exactly?
My role in Plantagon is as the business development manager. I'm responsible for the commercial development of the company. Yeah. The first project within Plantagon is an innovation within vertical greenhousing. So my role in that project is to take care of the commercial development. The technical development is being developed by a company called Sweco in Sweden, which is the leading sustainability engineering firm in Sweden.
So greenhouse is actually your product innovation.
Yeah.
And can you explain shortly about that? It's vertical urban farming.
Exactly.
Okay. What does it mean?
Yeah. The area that we would like to kind of promote is urban agriculture, which more or less explains itself. You take agriculture from outside the city into the city. So that's why we call it urban agriculture.
Yeah. So how far are you in the process now? I mean, have you built any greenhouses yet? And how long does it take to have the first greenhouse built and then to the point where you harvest the vegetable and then you can eat and enjoy it?
Absolutely. And that's kind of a challenge for us because we have a lot of followers following this project within Plantagon. And it's kind of hard to explain to them that the company was founded 3 years ago, and it's really a revolution technology behind vertical greenhouses. No one has a working solution today. Yep. So it really took us 2 years to develop the technology. And the step after that is to commercialize the technology.
So you begin to build one right now?
Yeah, within 6 months, I would say. So we're negotiating about the land price with the municipality of Linköping right now.
Okay. So and how long does it take to build that house?
I think it will take around 2 years.
2 years, okay.
So we can see 2 mega trends in the world today. The first is that the people are moving into cities. Yeah. The cities are growing larger and larger, becoming mega cities, and that kind of creates huge challenges for the city, because we can't stay on living like we are doing in the cities today, because it will get harder and harder for the cities to survive, because we need production or products and solutions from outside the city into the city, and it's really impossible with transportation to move everything from outside to inside. It creates a lot of costs, and the costs are increasing heavily, and also the emissions, the carbon dioxide from the transportation. So we need to move some of the production into the cities to sell directly to the consumers. And in that way we cut this transportation part of the change. So that kind of reduces the costs and emissions with carbon dioxide.
So what is your ambition concerning growth?
Our goal is to have as many houses up and running as soon as possible. So what we can see is that almost any city in the world is in need of a vertical greenhouse.
Okay.
So if a city is supposed to build a new house, like a commercial building for offices or a building for people living there, kind of create so much more value if you are building a new property.
What would you say to be the biggest challenge to a kind of work with this model and try to spread it? You know, because it's more like, okay, it's more like you advocated this is the right thing to do. And in many ways, I think that you're innovating by really integrate CSR to another level, you know, totally in a new level that we have known so far.
Absolutely, and we have been speaking to a lot of different individuals, entrepreneurs trying to start up the first venture, politicians trying to seek the solutions to the challenges today. And I haven't met anyone who hasn't been interested in this model, and they can clearly see the need for the model. Because what the financial crisis has been shown in 2008 and now is that it is something wrong with the system. So I think that more or less any one of us can agree that capitalism is the best system we have seen so far, but it have to be approved a lot because it's getting kind of out of control sometimes, especially within the financial sector.
So how big will it be, the greenhouse?
I mean, more or less the size you wish.
Okay.
So the first version of the vertical greenhouse was a globe. So you grew in spirals. So if you have 100 square meters on a footprint, the ground area, you of course get like up to 10 times more.
So what would you say is the main challenge that you're facing right now?
At the time we are really eager to get this up and running, and for me all these building processes are quite new, and it's kind of frustrating that it takes time to negotiate about the market price, get all the permissions and so on. And of course you have some technological challenges that we are solving during the way. We have most of the solutions, but every solution is always possible to improve. So a solution is never complete, so you always have to develop it. So the next phase is to look at if you can use the natural resources of the city, like grey water, if you can clean it and use it as for watering, irrigating the plants, or and we are looking at making the spillage heat from the buildings to heat up the greenhouse, and of course use the sunlight for the plants, and we can use carbon dioxide from surrounding industries, taking it into the greenhouse, because we need a high concentration of carbon dioxide in the beginning of the growing process. So you can take a lot of spillage heat and carbon dioxide, which is just making no use today, and make it useful.
Sustainability in many different levels. I know that you have also been nominated many awards as well?
Yeah, we are very thankful for that, of course.
Okay.
For the Red Herring Award and being selected as one of 50 innovations in Sweden.
Yeah.
For the World Congress in Shanghai.
Now it comes the next segment of the show.
Okay.
And it's this bag. And in here I have like 100 questions. And all of them have the word most in it. Are you lucky today?
I hope so.
I hope so.
Scary bag.
You hope so. Scary bag. Okay, most of them scary bag. Alright. Should I do like this so that you can...
I put some questions in there earlier.
Oh yeah. That could work.
Okay. Okay.
Can I?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So here's the first question. What has been the most challenging moment for you?
That's a hard question.
I didn't say it's easy.
Yeah, and you mean more personal?
Anything that comes up in your head right now.
Okay, I think for me relationships and individuals in my surroundings are really important, and losing someone you really love is really a huge challenge.
Yeah. Well, but that will be something that we all have to go through sooner or later, right? Here's the next one.
Okay. And
Oh, now you...
2 questions.
Okay. Should we take both of them now, or...
I think so.
You do have serious questions.
Okay. You make me cry.
Oh, I don't have any tissue, unfortunately. But what was the most difficult moment in your career?
Oh, thanks for that.
Maybe it's easier.
That's more career related.
Okay. Yeah, career related.
Yeah, if you are in between jobs, whatever the reason is, if the company you worked for is downsizing and you have to look around for another job, it's scary for you as an individual, because you are used to earning some kind of money each month, and someone pulls away the carpet underneath you, and you stand there all by yourself. It's really scary sometimes.
Okay. So you've been there.
Absolutely. I think that it's a really good way of learning more. And if you kind of overcome those phases in your life, you really grow as a person.
Yeah. Definitely. That I share with you.
Yeah.
You want to take this, or you want to take a new one?
Okay, I go for that one.
You go for that. Okay. Okay. I'm laughing already.
Or shall I take another one?
Well, you mentioned about relationship before, so here's a question about what do you find most unattractive about a woman?
Okay. Yeah, someone that really are only talking about herself.
Okay.
Not interested in the other individual or other persons.
Okay.
Or people around her.
Okay.
So people in general, it doesn't have to be a woman, it can be a man, that are bad listeners. Is really unattractive. Okay.
Have you met a lot of them in your life? Now it's a little bit more personal questions here.
I think you meet one every week.
Once every week?
Yeah, I think so. But I meet a lot of people.
Oh, you must change your environment though.
Yeah, but I don't...
Come to Denmark.
I think so. But I don't stay in touch with that kind of people.
Oh yeah, okay, that's another thing. Yeah. Otherwise, I think we have many, attractive women in Denmark who are good listeners. I think so.
That's good.
Trying to do some commercial for my Danish people. So now I'm going to ask you a very idealistic question. Ooh. And it doesn't have to do with Plantagon. What is your vision for the future?
For the world or for me?
For the world.
For the world. That no one should live in starving or living with pain or no war, no conflicts.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary to see that most of the conflicts around the world historically have been concerning religion, And religion is really something that should make people be better persons.
Yeah.
And it's really have been working the other way around, which is really crazy.
It is. So a peaceful world with many Plantagon greenhouses as possible.
Of course.
Is that
I forgot.
your vision of the world?
Absolutely.
Yep. Thank you so much. It has been a great pleasure for me, to get to know more about the company and try to spread about this company to the rest of the world through this web TV show, and also to get to know more about you at the personal level as well.
Yeah,
so thank you for taking your time to
Thank you for inviting me to an interesting project. I really think it's a great idea,
Thank
and
you.
I wish you best of luck.
Thank you so much. That's all from us today. Still sending from Sweden, and I'm really enjoying doing this, and I would like to give my special thank you to some of the organizers behind each trip, and they are Social Capital Forum, House of Win-Win, Udvikling Nordøst, and Chile Cinema, and Bergisjön Culture and Media Vested for making this episode possible. You can always click on the link below to get to know more about Plantagon. It's really great what they're doing. And or follow me or subscribe with your Facebook, Twitter, email, or even with your Google Plus, where I will update with you about what's happening on MakeChangeTV, what are the upcoming shows that I'm going to send out from Sweden as well, and get to know each other, learn more about social innovation. That's it. So thank you for watching, and remember to smile and shine. Thanks. Bye.